welcome back to Peaks 47. So the first thing I'm going to do in this episode is going to have a look at this Bachmann Scenecraft booking hall. So it has got all the lights and stuff already in there to go into their plug-in system. I'm yet to decide if I'm going to use that system or I'm going to gut all of this out and just run it off my own 12 volt bus with some resistors. I'm not sure yet. Not really too worried about the lighting at the minute. I just want to personalise this building a little bit. So obviously this is facing the rails, so the brunt of the work for me is going to be on this back end. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to customise it and put my Whittington Dale name above the door. So I've just recently received these, and as you can see they're from Trackside Signs. So this was 20 quid delivered, which is a bit of a bargain really, as you can see. So I've also got these travel posters from Gauge Master. Not really sure what's on there, just different adverts I suppose. So I'm going to get some of these out and perhaps put one or two here, maybe one on this gable and maybe one on this gable, just to give it a bit more detail. And once I've got them on, I might have a go at weathering this down a little bit. It is sort of weathered anyway. It's still a little bit clean. Perhaps just these foundation blocks, maybe have these a bit darker, the edges, the sills a bit darker, maybe a little bit of moss on the roof. Right, so I'm not going to go mad with this. I'm just going to use some black soot weathering powders. I just want to darken up these tiles, and obviously the chimney stack, I just want that a little bit sootier as well. So I'm not going to use matte lacquer on this to seal this in case I change my mind. I can simply just wash this off. That is much more the colour I was hoping for. You know what, I don't think I'm going to do much more to that station building, not for now anyway. I think I'm going to leave the scenics off the tiles. I think they look pretty good as they are. I'm happy with the amount of posters on there, the Whittington Dale above the door, that's just about right. So I'm going to work on getting my station signs up now. So we'll be looking at putting one here, and I'm going to have it double-sided. I'm not sure if that's prototypically correct, but I don't want a Whittington Dale facing this way and not on this side. So you'll be able to read the sign from both sides, and then directly opposite on the other side of the line, I'm going to have one here as well, which is about where the Monsell Dale one was. It was about halfway along the platform. So I'm using that as a reference. So we're going to put one over here, and we're going to do one over here. So that's what I'll be doing next, and then we'll move on to adding a little bit more trackside detail and a bit more platform detail. Right, so for my station signs, I don't want them too big, so I'm probably going to be going with this size one, and I'm going to combine it with this kit. As you can see, it's an N gauge. I always figured I'd want N gauge signs on Whittington Dale. It looks about the same sort of size of what was at Monsell, so the lettering not much bigger than a figure's head, so it's quite a small halt, and those seem to fit. So with this kit, you get your name boards, you construct, and then you also get the alphabet twice or 3 times, 4 times in some instances. And the idea of this kit is you build the name boards up and you put these letters on, anything up to a 14 letter word. So initially this is what I was going to do, but when I studied pictures of Monsell Dale and Miller's Dale as well, you could see that the boards were actually enamel, and it was just a white paint over a red background, quite flush. I think that was more in their BR days rather than the bullseye of the LMS days, but I figured that's the one I prefer. I really like the signs from the early BR days, so that's sort of really what I'm modelling for this. It's not technically right, but I just prefer this style of sign to the bullseye type that I think was around in the Midland era. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm actually messing about with this kit a little bit. So this insert would be removed, and then as you built the sign up, this would give you your lip in the border. But because I'm putting flush transfers on, I'm going to build these back to back and leave that in place. So as you've just seen from the previous clip, this is the next little bit of detail I'm planning on putting on one of the sidings next to the bottom of one of the platforms. So this is the large cable drums wagon lorry load kit, Alex 231. So you get 4 barrels, so you get 2 that are replicating, 2 that are full, and then you get 2 that are empty. You also get some wire to represent cable, so you can wrap them with cable if you choose to, and then you also get enough to make some frames if you want them to go on their framework, with some chocks as well. I'm just going to use these 2 empty ones for now. These may go somewhere else on the layout at a later date, but for now I want these to be like they've been there a while. So once the glue's gone off, probably going to try and put a bit of moss down this bottom area, maybe even a little bit of static grass on the top, some 1mm, weather these down, really bent them in so they're overgrown round them. I thought that might be a nice little bit of detail. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. for dry brushing. Next, what I'm going to do is use some weathering powders thinned down with IPA rather than water, because I want the IPA to evaporate quickly, save taking the chance of the water soaking in and destroying the model. So we're going to go with the IPA, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a wash over just to make it look like it's been there more than 5 minutes. Let's see where this is all nice and clean here. Just picks up that detail a little bit more. Once that's dry, you won't have that gloss look, as you'll see in a minute. I'm quite pleased with how that wash has taken. Probably give it another one just to get it a little bit more grubby, and just to try and blend in this dry brushing a little bit more. Still a little bit harsh between the two, so I think another wash and that might not be too far off, ready for the board. I may do the static grassing and stuff off the board rather than in situ, so I can just get the tiniest amount round here. As you can see, just a little bit more convincing. Again, these are spot on as they are, because these are new, so they haven't been used, they wouldn't have been there very long, so this looks good as it is. But for me, something that I want to look as if it's been there a few years, I think that's worked. I'm quite pleased with that.